Colombo Staff College, Manila, in association with the Ministry of Education and National Skills Development Council, where International Labour Organization, ILO, Directorate of Technical Education and Bangladesh Technical Education Board at the co-partner. Ladies and gentlemen, it is both an honor and privilege to stand before you today and welcome you to this learned community. Today is the second day of the conference, Research, Innovation and Pedagogy for Quality Assurance of TVET, with the theme of the seminar. We are honored this morning by the presence of the Honorable Chairperson, Mr. Inamul Haq, Additional Secretary, Technical and Madrasa Education Division, Ministry of Education, People's Republic of Bangladesh. My precious thanks to the distinguished resource person and participants who traveled far and near to share opinions, to engage with each other. I truly believe the engagement of the faculties from the different institutions attending today will certainly make this seminar fruitful and productive. Ladies and gentlemen, with the permission of the chair, I would like to introduce our honorable research person and paper presenter of this session. First of all, it is Mr. Chaudhary Mustajabur Rahman, TVET specialist, Koika, Bangladesh. His topic of presentation is Koika, Bangladesh, leveraging Korea's experience of human resource development through TVET and skills development project. Now, Mr. Shama Prasad Bapari, Project Director, Higher Secondary Stipend Project. He will give us a brief detail about integrating income generation skills to the stipend discipline student. Without further ado, let us welcome Professor Dr. Ghulam Sultan Alam, former Professor of King Khalid University, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He is mentioned with the topic, that is the quality debate with required skill and the prospect of meaningful jobs at home and abroad. I would like to draw attention to Professor Ghulam Sultan Alam. Please come to the dais. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Mr. Ibrahim Adamo, Faculty Department of TVET at IIT, and Dr. Shahad Hussain Khan, Assistant Professor, Department TVET at IIT Kazipur. Is it present here? Mr. Shahad? Okay. I hope that Mr. Ibrahim Adamo will present the paper. His topic is project-based learning, how it impacts on students' learning and technical education of Bangladesh. Ladies and gentlemen, our last keynote speaker, Sheikh Jargal Junai, Specialist Vocational Education Policy Department, General Office for Labor and Social Welfare Services, Labor Palace, Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. I'm sorry to say that he is not yet present in the session. Maybe he is coming. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to listen to me about the details of the resource person. I believe that the session ahead provides us the opportunity to discuss on the quality needs of technical education in order to prosper, because the country needs technical education system. Investment technical education is a tremendous return. Well-educated TVET graduates get better jobs, take work as enable companies to compete successfully in local or global markets. And this empowered individuals become creative entrepreneurs who will create new ventures and jobs for a country like Bangladesh burdened with unemployment. And I also believe that in this session, all participants will be able to formulate a truly multi-stakeholder set of policy recommendations which can be presented to the government of Bangladesh. We will ensure to have final report and proceedings in the websites of IDB for easy download and easy access to participants. With that note, again, a very warm welcome to you, and I hope that seminar will be fruitful and your next few hours here will be productive and also enjoyable. Ladies and gentlemen, let's enjoy the speech from the speaker. At the very beginning, I am pleased to invite Mr. Chaudhary Mustajabur Rahman, TVET specialist, Koika, Bangladesh, to deliver his speech.
Thank you very much and welcome you all to my presentation and good morning. My name is Chaudhary Mustajabur Rahman and I'm working in the Koika Bangladesh office as a program officer. I look after the projects that are related with skills development and education. And before I start my presentations formally, may I please ask you to imagine a country that is devastated from war and massive outbreaks of diseases, hunger and low human development. Can you think of a country? To you. And now think of a country that is highly developed with very high human development, maybe #1 in ICT, employing ICTs all over the country. So what comes into your mind? A country that is very poor and another country which is highly developed. I'm talking about just one country and it's South Korea. South Korea, just after the Korean War in 1950s, was a war-devastated country. People have a very low human development rate and there was a massive outbreak of diseases, hunger and whatnot. And within just 2 decades, in the 1970s, Korea transformed itself to a middle-income country and then become a highly developed country. And it's one of the role models for development for its tremendous success. And it is an example for other developing nations to follow the Korean form of Korean model of development. And for us like Bangladesh, it can be a very good way to follow Korean model of success. And what was the reason behind Korea's success? It was the technology-based skill development, technology-based human resource development that boosted up Korea's socio-economic development. And here in KOICA, the Korea International Cooperation Agency, we follow that Korean model of skill development and try to employ in our country through the government of Bangladesh for skill development projects. And I welcome you all to my presentation. And I name it KOICA in Bangladesh, leveraging Korea's experience of human resource development through TVET and skill development program. Well, I start with Korea's introduction, a very short introduction. It has a population of over 50 million. And the GDP is a little less than 36,000 USD per capita. The gross domestic spending on research and development is 4.2% of the entire GDP. And almost 99% people have internet access all over the country. And you know, the spending on education per student is $8,000 almost. And it is ranked 18th in Human Development Index, and it's #1 country employing ICT all over the world, and that is the secret of Korea's development. Let's see the transformation of Korea, how it transformed from a poor country to a developed country. Before the 1960s, as I said, it was a war-affected country, and the economy was mostly traditional and received ODA from other developed nations, mostly from Japan, and very low human development with very low literacy rate. But after the 1960s, with great leadership, great strategic planning, Korea became a major donor. It focused on industrialization with manufacturing industries, focusing on general merchandise, light industries, and it has a labor-intensive, export-oriented industry with comparative advantage of cheap and abundant labor. This is the timeline of Korea's success from, we call it from recipient to donor. In 1963, Korea for the first time started its training program for the public officials of the developing countries. And in 1977, the first assistance through provision of equipments was take place. And just after 10 years, in 1987, the Economic Development Cooperation Fund was established. It is also known as the Korean Exim Bank. It is another form of Korea's donation to the developing nations. In 1989, Korea for the first time dispatched its volunteers. And volunteer dispatch is one of the components of Korea's ODA in the developing nations. In 1999, Korea for the first time received the declaration of donor by UNDP, and for the first time in 1991, it established the Korea International Cooperation Agency, or known as KOICA. Now let's have a look at the Korean classification of vocational training program. We have two kinds of vocational training. One is for the employed people who are already working skills, and the others are for the unemployed people who want to get their job by improving their skills. And for the upgradation of training, these are mainly employer-initiated vocational trainings, can be SME specific or consortium by the public agencies. And the unemployed training for the people who are not doing any job right now. There is a thing called nail-bound card for the unemployment, vocational skills and development training. And for the public training program, there are several public training programs which are conducted by several universities and colleges. You see the Korean University and Technology or Polytechnic colleges. And recently Korea went through a reformation of the TVET system. And the main 4 pillars of this reformation was the decentralizing and the TVET system all over the country to set up a demand-driven system and to ensure quality. To that, they have established the NQF, National Qualification Framework, allowing the TVET providers to reshape their programs according to the standards. Now Korea is also emphasizing on partnership between university, associations, NGOs to boost up the TVET systems. And also there should be a relevance between industry and TVET system. Now go back to KOICA, my organization. You see, KOICA was established in 1991, and in 1991 the budget was very low, but nowadays it's the statistics from 2015. The budget is 647, 640, and several zeros on Korean own. And 1992, it has just 1 office, but right now it has more than 50 offices in 46 countries. And the project was it started with just 8 projects, and we have more than 200 projects in 54 countries. And KOICA was established in Bangladesh in 1995. Just after the establishment of KOICA, 4 years the establishment of KOICA, we have our office in Bangladesh. And the first country partnership strategy was established in 2012, and in this year we are established the second country partnership strategy. It was formulated by the government of Bangladesh and by the government of Korea. And you see the ODA to Bangladesh from Korea. Right now it's more than $16 million. We have 4 priority sectors in Bangladesh for KOICA. One of these is education, which includes skill development. The others is transportation, public health, and ICT. ICT is another major focus area in Bangladesh. As you know, most of the Korea's program have some sort of ICT component in our program. These are the several projects that were conducted by KOICA. And number 6, that is I think known by everyone in this session. It's the Bangladesh Korea Technical Training Center that is situated in the technical mode, which is known by the Korea Technical Training Center. And right now we have one project with the TTC Russia called the Capacity Development Program. There is a project recently started with Bureau of Manpower Employment with 3 TTCs, and we are also currently conducting a program with ECIC for the development of TICI, the Training Institute for Chemical Industries. The number 4 project, Creative Bangladesh. It is one of the unique projects. I see it's one of the unique projects even in Bangladesh. This project will be conducted with the University of Dhaka. We will promote entrepreneurship skills through this project, and our prime targets are university students. The 5th project was, it's already completed. It was conducted in Chittagong TTC. Well, let's have a detailed brief of our project and upgrading Russia TTC. Most of our projects we are counterpart with BMET, Bureau of Manpower and Employment. The Russia TTC project has a budget of $8.5 million, and it started in 2015 and will be completed in 2019. And the core focus of this project was training of the trainers. And the strengthening BMET project, we have BMET in addition to SAID project and ADB. The budget is 8.5 million, and it started in this year and will be completed in 2021. And the main focus of this project is private sector partnership. We are planning to make partnership with several Korean large institutes in Bangladesh, say for example Samsung or LG, to make a partnership with them and create job employment for the graduates from these technical training centers. We are also running a project with Training Institute for Chemical Industries in Norshindi. Under BCIC, the project's budget is $5 million US dollar, and the project will be completed this year. And this project's area of focus was curriculum development. For the Chittagong TDC program, it all completed in 2013, and the budget was around $5 million. And the Dhaka Training Center program, it completed a long ago in 2009 with a budget of $4 million US dollar. This is the modality and component of COICA's projects. Construction is one of our major focus. We usually construct the training centers or technical institutes in most of our cases, like the Dhaka Technical Center or Chittagong Technical Center in Rajshahi. The construction is going on. We also renovate the whole buildings according to the need of that project. We also provide equipment and material according to the need of that specific industry, specific institution. We also send the trainers to Korea for their training so that they can be trained and come back to Bangladesh to provide more qualified training. We right now is also focusing on curriculum development, and time to time we also send volunteers to Bangladesh who supports the local trainers for quality of the work. And looking forward, as I say, Korea, for our current projects, we focus on specific elements, but looking forward, we are trying to take a holistic approach to develop the overall technical system of the specific institutes. And for that, we're, like we say, we are thinking of industry engagement with Korean, not only just Korean companies, but with also local companies, so that we can provide jobs to the graduates. So after the training, they can directly take a job, and if not a job, they can at least take a 3 months or 6 months of internship in that industries. And our third focus is decentralization, not just Dhaka or Chittagong, the big cities. We try to take our footprints to the impoverished areas for attracting the rural youth. And partnership is one of our major mandates. We want to make partnerships with local industries and other development partners as well. And for partnership, just saying that, it's not about just with the technical institutes or government or development partners. This partnership can happen with any private organizations. It's not just a private training organization, it can be with bank, it can be with a large conglomerate like Unilever or Shell. We are not focusing, like in Bangladesh, we're not focusing on this, but in the other areas of the world, the private companies, the big conglomerates have a huge contribution to skill development. So we should also focus on this from now on. And this is from all from my presentation. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chaudhary Mustajabur Rahman, for giving us a clear picture of the joint venture between Korea and Bangladesh. We got a lot of information from him. Thank you very much. Now, may I request Mr. Shama Prasad Dapari, Project Director, Higher Secondary Stipend Project, who will give us a brief detail about integrating income generating skills to a stipend recipient student. Mr. Shama Prasad Dapari.
Hello, good morning to everybody. Honorable chairman of this session, honorable guest in the dais, especially we are very lucky that our organizer, one of the organizer is here, Dr. Ramhuri is here. We can give a big hand here. And also the foreign delegates and our Bangladeshi delegates, respected delegates, I salute you everybody. My name is Shema Prasad Bapari. I am Joint Secretary, Ministry of Education, and at the same time, I am working as a project director. The name of the project is Higher Secondary Stipend Project. That is, Government of Bangladesh has a program for social protection, that is social safety net. Under this social safety net, government has taken the project under the Education Ministry, that is, sound is high? Okay. So, under this ministry, Education Ministry, government has taken the project, that is to disburse the stipend to the poor students in Bangladesh. Because you know, everybody know, we are not out of the poverty. We have the poverty in Bangladesh. About 33% poverty is in Bangladesh. So, government wants, Honorable Prime Minister wants to develop their status through providing the scholarship or stipend to the poor student. Then they can come to the education and they will take the education, they will go up at the apex and they will go for the work as a, they will go for work as a policy maker. Poor and rich man will not divide. This is the policy of our Honorable Prime Minister, and we shall reach the happy and prosperous Bangladesh. We shall establish the digital Bangladesh. You know, we have a vision. So under this vision, we disburse the money to the student. About 0.6 million, that is 6 lakhs students are provided stipend in ACC level, that is 11 and 12 class. They students who are very poor in 7,000, more than 7,000 institutions in Bangladesh. The category of institutions are general college, madrasa, and others, BM, that is business management technical colleges. So, why I am here? What is the relation between the stipend and the skills? Yes, I have a relation because I have created some innovative idea. What is that? You can see here. My title is Integrating Non-Formal Income Generating Skills Training to the Stipend Students in Higher Secondary Level. That is, you can see my title, Integrating Non-Formal Income Generating Training. We introduce the income generating training to the general student who are very poor, who are the scholarship recipient in Bangladesh. So how? So, before going to this, my main title, I am to go for background. I have to say something about my project. Wherefrom I have come to this idea. Please go. Background about my project. I have created some idea you will find interesting. So, my project objective is that you can see encouraging pro-poor student to the study more. So when I আমার একটু গলা বড় তো no problem.
Shema নওশাদ,
স্যার
আপনি যদি কমফোর্টেবল হন তাহলে বাংলায় বলেন, একটু মানে এমন ভাবে বলেন টাইমটা কিন্তু আমাদেরকে ম্যানেজ করতে হবে প্লিজ। থ্যাংক ইউ।
So I am to go. So you see, encouraging the pro-poor student. Amra, I mean, with the permission, chairman has given the permission to speak in Bangla, so it will be very nice to communicate it. So it is my mother language. So I request the foreigner. So at the same time I shall say in English. And my paper is in written in front of you. The objective: encourage the pro-poor student, encourage the science education. The student who are, I would like to say that about the science education, reduce the dropout, to reduce the population growth, during the reduce the gender disparity. The objective of the education ministry and SDS in education, inclusive, so no gender disparity. Amra সব ধরনের মানুষকে আমরা এখানে গরিব ধনী সব ধরনের সব রেসের মানুষকে আমরা এখানে এনেছি এবং পপুলেশন গ্রোথ। আমার যখন স্কলারশিপ দেব, when I provide the scholarship, the student cannot go for marriage. Go. So আমরা স্কলারশিপ দেই কত? টোটাল within the 2 years we only provide 4,200 taka, and science student 5,800 taka only. So it is very poor amount. They cannot make their studies properly. They cannot take the food as the lunch. So what? Okay. But before that, we provide the scholarship, we disburse the scholarship hand to hand. But now, we innovated the idea, we disburse the stipend or scholarship through mobile banking. You can say here, this is my office, and we provide the scholarship through 3 persons, 3 officers, and hand to hand. The face of these students is gloomy. That is, they are not satisfied. Why? What is the reason behind? The drainage of money. So I stop the drainage of money. You can see here, Agrodi Bank, Das Bangla Bank. That is, we use the mobile banking, and electronically I transfer the money. You know. So the students are very happy. They are smiling face, and we send the message to them, and they exchange the message anytime from here. Go. So you can say the benefit. What were the benefits? Any student, anywhere, anytime, reduce the leakage of money. Taka paisa আর এখন কেউ টাচ করতে পারে না। ছাত্র যে তার কাছে ডাইরেক্টলি চলে যায়। Nobody can touch, no media. I just click and the student from anywhere, হাওড়ের মধ্যে থাকুক, যেখানে থাকবে, এখানে হাওড়ের আমার অফিসার আছে খালিয়াজুরি, সে আসছে এখানে, সেভ দ্য মানি, সেভ দ্য, এখন কেউ কোনো কাজ করতে হয় না, আমি নিজেই এখানে বসে করে ফেলাই সব। সেভ দ্য ম্যান্ডেস আওয়ার, অ্যাবাউট দ্য সিস্টেম, দ্য লার্নিং দ্য মোবাইল লিটারেসি, দি স্টুডেন্ট, তারা এখন মোবাইল লিটারেসি সম্পর্কে জানে, মোবাইল ব্যাংকিং লিটারেসি, তারা তাদের টাকাকে সেভ করতেছে। ইউ ক্যান সি হিয়ার, after all, what did I see? I see the poor students are smiling when they receive the full money, and I am also satisfied. That is, we find the smiling face of the students who are receiving the stipend. Go. So another 2 minutes. I request for more time. You can see that we created for data collection huge data, but now only 2 steps. Previously we used 24 steps. Then now we use the software, that is, here you can see the institution and uploaded data, and I send the Das Bangla Bank and they disburse the money. Go. This is my title. So my idea is that the Upuzela, the administrative unit, you know Upuzela, all the Bengalis here, So we selected 10 upazilas with the financial assistance of A2I, Prime Minister Office. So we select here. You can see this is the example. These are the institutions. We provide the training to the poor student. They are the general student. They cannot take the food. So they are provided the training in beautician, in mobile servicing, nursery, and so many trades. Tailoring. So many according to the need of this area. So we provided the training. Now about 200 students as pilot basis. You can see my officer has come from Khaliazuri. It is the wetland. It is under the water, but he provided the training 20 students, and he successfully. Now the students are earning the money successfully. That is, they are now skilled. So there is a relation of the my project and to develop their capacity for permanently. And you can see, you go. So these are the area. These are the beautification, computer training, nursing, poultry, beautification, sweet making, fish farming, water. And in 10 upazila, Nesarabad, Ishordi, Ramarkhon, Khaliazuri, Tungipara, Polapara, southern part, Lalponirhat, northern part, Tetulia, Botiagata, Morolganj. Within the 10 upazilas, we provided the training 200 students to the 200. Now they are earning the money. You will find their happiness. They could not take the money from their father, the poor father, burning. The father is very poor, but they could not provide the money to their students. But the students are very brilliant. I provided money, and they are in the income generating activities. So you can say the result on the so with the result factor. We shall show some video. 1 minute. We request to allow the time 5 minutes only. So what is happening here?
No, Shema.
Only 2 minutes.
1 minute more, please.
1 minute. That's 1 minute. 1 minute. You can see. So you can see the secretary here. This is the picture of the Tetulia. We provided the tailoring machine, that is sewing machine, and cycle also, and they are earning. Yes, sir. They are earning more. And
Shama, time constant, but thank you. We could understand the philosophy or the economic base. Thank you very much. Stop it here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Shama Prasad Papari, for talking about.
It is like bullet train. It is not the presentation, task, and So thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and the participant. I salute again. I would like to provide the training whole Bangladesh. They are the general, and the skillness will be developed to everybody, and they will be the entrepreneur. They will earn the money. They will go for leading their smoothing life, and it will be the happy, prosperous Bangladesh, the digital Bangladesh.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much
Bangladesh.
for
Thank you very much.
giving us that very nice video, and hope we got the message to go forward. Thank you very much. Now I would request Professor Dr. Muhammad Ghulam Sultan Alam, former professor of King Khalid University in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I would be grateful to you, sir, if you shorten your speech, sir. I hope that, I think that it takes time longer than usual.
Honorable Chair, Honorable Director General CPSC, distinguished presence. Now I would like to share my ideas on the quality TVET and required skills and the prospect of meaningful jobs at home and abroad. Bangladesh well placed to enjoy the demographic dividend with a large population on 160 million. The average median is 26 for moving the economic growth. A higher trajectory Bangladesh needs to convert its large working age population into productive human resources through enhancing their skill level. When TVET means the technical and vocational education and training, sweeping changing in the nature of work and technology of both the workplace and everyday living will demand a much reached level of technical competence on the part of every person on the earth than most people today possess. TVET, a common question may arise, then may there be a TVET course without qualification? Didn't the TVET course that we have taught so far meet the quality standard? Second question that may arise is that to acquire skill is necessary to secure a job. quality TVET today means quality manpower. And in terms of required skill development, we have to find a correct definition for it, and the definition goes as this: education governance is the system and standard through which organizations control their educational activities and demonstrate accountability for the continuous improvement of educational quality and performance. Those 10% have also been skilled, and such skilled qualitative persons are the great asset of a country. It is told about quality TVET and required skills that a person who has been able to acquire such skill through the quality system of TVET that meet the demand of the correct employment market. And now we find what are the requirement of the educational governance, and that a person can present him to face the challenge of local and overseas market. Overseas market. Population, the density per square kilometer was 919 in Bangladesh in 2000, and will be 1,178 in 2020 and 1,402 in 2050. And this will be the highest population density among all the countries of the world. With population 10 million or above, Bangladesh is now an emerging sun in the world community, and the country is moving ahead, and it will continue its forward march. The present government of Bangladesh wants to make the country a developed and prosperous one. Arising dependency ratio, because population of Bangladesh will be 185 million with dependency ratio of 0.44. As a result, the working age population will be 128 million. Dependent population 57 million in 2030. In 100 years from 2000 to 2001, Bangladesh must engage with urgency in research for unlocking challenges of translating the higher number of the working age population according with less dependency in 2030 as a higher manual and non-manual intellectual skill workforce for enhanced productivity and innovation. Number two, upcoming demographic graph with highest density of the population in the world. Yes. Governance performance. Present TVET governance indicator characteristics, selection of aspects and identification of contextual indicators. Analysis of the contextual indicators. What dimension? Contextual indicators analysis. Population age group distribution, dependency ratio of the population, TVET curriculum development, revision framework, demand and supply gap analysis for the skilled workforce in the NTVET, National Technical and Vocational Qualification Framework, NTVET, prescribing teachers' qualification, job description, job specification and personnel specification, working out the required number of teachers, managers and other staff positions, parliamentarians' functions and accountability, resource generation, allocation structure. Who dimension, contextual indicators, gross intake ratio with grade segregation, success rate, student-teacher ratio, selection, recruitment and promotion teachers, population of teacher trained, allocation of fund to public institution as percentage of GDP, private financing of TVET not accounted to GDP. comparative indicator analysis, identification and analysis of comparative indicators, enrollment to education and training program, curriculum development for TVET program, teacher selection, recruitment and training, resource input to education and training, challenges and prospects, Bangladesh and internationally recognized indicators, employed workforce education and training, skill standard classification of workforce and productivity, demand supply gap analysis of skilled workforce, mismatch of Bangladesh skilled workforce demand supply, need for matching the Bangladesh skilled workforce demand supply, matching of demand supply of skilled workforce for the selected countries.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You are earnestly requested to finish your paper within a minute.
Inspiration to youth for attitude towards quality debate. Inspired in young people a positive attitude and enable them to help the shape technology and skill change. Coordination, the role and place of values, education and training in the TVET program. Flourish the information age that are beginning to do today what must be done to meet this demanding responsibility and to meet it in an excellent manner. Demanding responsibility and to meet it in an excellent manner, be assured that quality TVET graduated young among the providers and related pupils precisely that. Help the graduate through quality TVET to make them member of the global village for lasting in the culture, peace, non-violence, tolerance with the generations at present and come in future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving us a thought-provoking speech. It is noteworthy that TVET equips people not only with professional skills but with a broad range of knowledge, skills and attitude that are indispensable for meaningful participation in work and life. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the pleasure to invite Mr. Ibrahim Amadou, Department of TVET at IUT, to deliver his speech. I will honestly request you to shorten your speech because we have more speakers.
Respected facilitators, participants, good afternoon all. I'm Ibrahim Amadou. I'm from IUT's TV department. The title of my presentation is Project-Based Learning, how it will impact student learning, technical education student learning in Bangladesh. So the content of the discussion is the background, which I will much more emphasize on the current technological challenges, and the TVET institution have to train its students to face the current technological challenges in the future world of work. The second title is the status of technical vocational education and training in Bangladesh. This paper is based on a desk review conducted by most of the papers which were conducted in developing countries and some in developed countries. So there are some challenges that were enumerated or were found by these foreign scholars which were highlighted. And based on the challenges, we found out that the pedagogy or the method of teaching being used in a TVET institution is not, is still short and bold. That is, they are still using a teacher-centered method. That is why this paper is trying to propose a project-based learning as an effective pedagogy for inculcating the necessary skills, knowledge, and attitude to the technical and vocational education students, such that after their graduation, they can easily earn a living, they can synchronize into the future world of work. And the fourth title is speaking about how students will learn using the project-based learning pedagogy, while the benefits of project-based learning toward TVET were enumerated and the paper were concluded. Even though many papers that were presented give more emphasis on how technology is changing and how future world of work will be changing, and the objective of technical and vocational education is more or less to train its recipient such that they will face these challenges. Definitely, if TVET institution really mean what they want to achieve, they must prepare their students with these modern challenges. So, based on the challenges founded, based on the review papers, education employers complain about formal and non-formal sectors of Tibet, of Bangladesh, that it does not produce the skills they require. The employers are complaining about the skills, and also the second paper found that they are not producing the necessary quality, the quality of engineering education in Bangladesh, according to Chaudhry and Alam, is not up to the required or the proposed quality. Thirdly, the system has not responded very well. Based on these three findings, another findings reveal that the dominant pedagogy for teaching engineering education is to remain chalk and talk. When we are talking about chalk and talk, we are talking about a teacher-centered, where the teacher is the dominant in the classroom, while students are passive. So this type of pedagogy, there are many criticisms upon it. That is not an effective way of teaching. That if teachers are using this type of methodology, definitely even the student understand the content at that particular time, the level of the understanding will not be as much as we are needed. So after some time, the student will really write the examination, they will pass the examination, but after 2 weeks, 1 month or some few years, student will definitely forget even what they did. So after their graduation, definitely they will not display the relevant skills and knowledge that they acquired in their institution. Based on these challenges, another paper revealed that numerous studies around the world have proposed project-based learning as the most suitable means of achieving effective competence-based education that integrate knowledge and skills. So there are many papers. Most of the papers that we review upon a project-based learning, it stated that this pedagogy of teaching will definitely inculcate the necessary competence needed for the student. skills that they acquired in the institution such that they can be self-employed, or they can gain a paid employee in the industries. So the project-based learning refers to the theory and practice of utilizing real world of work. So in project-based learning, definitely the institution has to utilize the real world of work. That is, if we are training a TVET student, we will not give more emphasis on giving them the theoretical knowledge. We have to involve them in the real world of work. Example, if you are teaching an automobile engineering student, in the institution, you have to provide an automobile workshop or lab, and this type of workshop, you have to, the community will be patronizing, it will be bringing their problems such that, and the student will be involved in solving this type of problems with relevant to the topic that they are, with relevant to the topic, the current topic that they are being taught by their teachers. So as they are being involved, into the real world of work, after their graduation, this type of student, they had been running in the workshop, they had been seeing the automobile challenges day in, day out. So immediately after they complete their education, they can easily earn a living. They can either establish their own workshop, or easily an industry will give them a job. So how students will learn using the project-based learning? This project-based learning is mostly an action learning, where students will be fully involved in the process of teaching. That is, the teacher will be guiding the student. After being introduced the title to the student, he will be guiding the student to be conducting some practical with the assistance of the lab technicians, or the workshop technician or the lab assistant will be assisting them to be conducting the real world problem. And this type of problem, you can either group the student, either individual student or a group of students, but depending on the magnitude or the population of the class. And this type of challenging must be curriculum-based. It must be centralized to the topic that you are teaching. Even though it can be interdisciplinary, but they must be curriculum-based, based on the topic that the students are currently being conducted in the class. So the learners decide how to approach the learners will decide how to approach their learning, and the student will be judged by how much they learn, how well they communicate to the teachers, because after they completed this type of problem or this type of task, definitely they have to show, the teachers will be asking them, how did you come about this, how did you do this, how did you do this, and the student will explain, and the judgment will be given to the student based on their response. Throughout the process, the teachers is just a guidance. He will not be directing them, he will be advising them, he will be guiding them, and the end product in the project-based learning is not the project itself, it's not what they are producing, but we assume in the process of the producing or constructing this particular project or task, the student will undergo several challenges. They will learn different knowledge in this process. So the concern of project-based learning is not the end product, rather the knowledge and skill that students will acquire in the process of learning. So the benefit of project-based learning, a trained technical personnel with contextual competency, definitely students will have competence skill. You will be using a real problem in the professional sphere, and collaborative learning. Students will learn how to work in a group, so that after their graduation, even if they go out, they already learn, they have experience of how to work in a group, because most of the technical training, most of the technical work, it requires a collaborative effort. Another benefit, making learning of engineering principles more enjoyable, because one student is fully involved in the process will be more enjoyable to him, and if it is enjoyable to him, definitely his interest will be aroused. This type of enjoyment will arouse his interest and attention, and definitely a hands-on collaborative learning experience will be acquired by the student, and the high retention rate. Student will retain his knowledge as much as it is, because when he is fully involved in the process, definitely he will not forget it, because there is some Chinese saying that student will retain what he do by himself in a higher percentage. If you fully involve the student in the process, definitely he will learn, he will not forget what he did during that process. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ibrahim Adamu. It's a pragmatic delivery relevant to the topic of today's session. I believe that the information given will help TVET educators and researchers of Bangladesh to have a good start in the endeavor. Now, I cordially invite Ms. Setsek Jargal Junai to present her paper.
Education training of Mongolia runs out as such structure and in the brain of sector innovation. Daily established innovation center and the regional center efforts, which created a real condition for directly working the sport. Evolution Center of Education and Training organizes integrate exam in order to combine essence, citizens or graduate skills of producing and their level of knowledge of educational training. This organization runs out long activities such as to ensure employment of education and training content to great competence and to improve the teachers' skills of knowledge as well as to make the research. Total 91 education training centers or organizations belong to in 6 regions. In prime or law, there are consciousness invested in Mongolia. These changes have been brought in our sector. In the education system, there are more opportunities for the learners of vocational education. Otherwise, secondary education and vocational education can be fully obtained from vocational education and training. Our graduates can work directly in labor market, and they also can obtain so occupation continue studying in university during the working. We are see by 2017 data, and there are 91 vocational education and training schools, including 50 public and 41 private schools. Total students are 4,131 learners are studying in the schools and 15,900 female learners from these studying. In the last 5 years, the learners have been continuously increased in the schools. To create the chance to a friend in the workplace based on academic qualification or educational level. To give the enrollment wages is one of the most used for skilled works based on the competency. Mongolian economics is hard. Temporary governmental schools were invested from the government, which sometimes faces problems for the activities. Fortunately, mine projects of this sector have been done by support of international sponsors or investors. Mongolia became the 69 members country of World Skills International Organization by 363. Order of the government in 2015. Also, Mongolia firstly participated in World Skills competition by 208. Order of the government in 2015. Mongolia was listed in the 42nd from 62 continuous successful participating in the competition. A main sport organization for international corporate ages and genuine education from the international corporation. Team of the competition of this year being invested from Ayutthaya Aires and German Education International Corporation and participating teachers and learners in the communities who are being provided free preparation of the competition in the Germany. We are considering that participating Mongolian team in the competition will be increased with education of vocational education and training school of Mongolia in the international levels, and also it will positively affect innovation of this sector. Thank you for your attention. I am inviting all to visit our beautiful country that was Genghis Khan's hometown. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sip Jargal Junai, to present her paper. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe and hope that this conference will contribute to develop new knowledge and replicable models that could be applicable to both developed and developing countries. Dear participants, we are at the end of the session. Now it's your turn to share. You may ask questions to our honorable presenter and resource person, but I would request first that you will tell your name and the organization you are representing. Okay? You may ask questions.
I am Yashwadin Ahmed, Department Dhaka Electric Supply, Dhaka Power Station Company. I speak in Bengali. I ask Mr. Shama Prasad Dapari, উনি ওনার ভিডিওতে দেখালেন যে ট্রেলারিং শেখাচ্ছিলেন, যে ইনকাম বাড়বে। আমি সেটা যোগ করতে চাই, মোবাইল সার্ভিসিং এর কথা বলছেন। মোবাইলটা যদি অ্যাসেম্বলিং করা শেখানো যেত এখানে যদি মোটরসাইকেল অ্যাসেম্বলি করা শেখানো যেত তাহলে
Question please.
আমরা মোটরসাইকেলের যে মেকানিক তেতুলিয়ায় দুইজন শিখাইছি তারা দে আর আর্নিং এভরিডে 500 200 100 this father gave the student only 10 now they are on the shoulder of their fathers now he is shouldering their reverse so no problem all the suggestion all the grades will be included here আমাকে আরো 10টা কোশ্চেন জিজ্ঞেস করেন
Next. Anybody else? No more question. Yes.
আসসালামু আলাইকুম আমি সরকার মোহাম্মদ আলমগীর লেকচারার দাউদপুর কলেজ নওয়াবগঞ্জ দিনাজপুর মাই কোশ্চেন আমরা মাধ্যমিক এবং উচ্চ মাধ্যমিক শাখায় টিচার হিসেবে আছি এই সাবজেক্টটা হচ্ছে ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং ড্রয়িং কিন্তু এই সাবজেক্টটার মাধ্যমে অনেক ছেলে স্টুডেন্ট বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ে তারা চান্স নেওয়ার জন্য সহায়ক হয় দীর্ঘদিন যাবৎ এই টিচারদেরকে কোনো ট্রেনিংয়ের আওতায় নিয়ে আসা হয়নি আমি আপনার মারফতে এটার বিষয়ে কি করা যায় একটু ভালো পরামর্শ দিলে বা আমরা উপকৃত হতাম
Dear participants, question should be relevant and you should specifically address the speaker or presenter. Okay? To whom you want to learn this the answer of this question? আপনি স্যারের প্রতি জানতে চাইছেন জয়েন্ট সেক্রেটারি স্যার
আমাকে এডুকেশন মিনিস্ট্রির জয়েন্ট সেক্রেটারি উনি বলেছিলেন উনি যে সাবজেক্টটা আছে ওনার পড়ান আমরা কোনো ট্রেনিং পাই না যেহেতু আমি এডুকেশন মিনিস্ট্রিতে আমার সঙ্গে বড় স্যার আছে আপনার কোশ্চেনটা নেওয়া হলো আমরা রিলেটেড জায়গায় বলবো আপনার সাবজেক্টের নাম কি
প্রকৌশল অঙ্কন ও ওয়ার্কশপ প্র্যাকটিস
আচ্ছা এটা কারিগরি এই স্যারের মেইন ব্যক্তি
রাইট বিষয়টা ছিল উনি যে বিষয়বস্তু আলোকপাত করেছেন তার উপরে একটি প্রশ্ন করা আপনার নিজস্ব কোনো সমস্যা এই সম্পর্কিত বিষয়ে এই জায়গাটা
স্যার আমার বিষয়টা হচ্ছে রিলেটিভ স্যার
ফাইন তারপর আপনি বলেছেন আমরা বিবেচনা নিচ্ছি আমরা দেখবো ভবিষ্যতে কি করা যায় থ্যাংক ইউ
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have no more time. Time is getting up, so I hope we enjoyed the session and it's time to enjoy the valuable speech from our Honorable Chairperson. I have the pleasure to invite Honorable Chairperson, Mr. F.M. Inamul Haq, Additional Secretary, Technical and Madrasa Education Division, Ministry of Education, Bangladesh, to deliver his speech and close the session. But before then, we have a very nice moment to share the moments of recollection. So you have to wait till that very time. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Respected presenters, respected guests and participants, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. We started in the morning and we are about to finish in the afternoon. Certain issues are there. What you have mentioned in your presentation, the thematic area is research, innovation and pedagogy for quality assurance of TVET. So, you presented in some way that it will help come up with some recommendations. In our country, I believe you all know it is in the process of structural change in the economy in terms of the share of GDP in various obviously there would be some structural change in the employment sector, as well as it would be important to consider the growth of GDP. It is increasingly growing. So expectation in all who are present here, where we all expect that we will be getting a better service from the all sectors who are involved or engaged in different assignments, tasks. Sometimes whatever we are discussing here, it is an institutional learning process. But you see, in Bangladesh, there are certain issues which doesn't require institutional learning. So, people from Orishal region, the child learns how to swim automatically. They don't need any instruction even. Automatically they are learning how to swim because the nature is favoring them. But in some cases, we cannot do it. Because there is another process, is a migration process from rural area. Good number of people are migrating to urban area. So the youths living in the urban area, they may not have the same opportunity to learn naturally. So we need to train them so that they can engage themselves in their assignment in a proper way. Maybe it is a raw nature of example. Even if whenever we use a washroom, we expect some level of standard, some cleanliness, some other aspects to be there so that I will be comfortable in using the washroom. So probably you have noticed that nowadays in the urban areas, washroom we use tissue paper. So it needs to be set in such a manner it will not be wasted. So, and even we are using water taps that is to be set in such a way so that water will not be wasted. Electricity. So these issues, we are engaging one person to look after all these aspects. So he needs to be trained, he needs to be skilled for effectiveness and efficiency. So our thematic area is there should be a synchronization in three areas or fields: research, innovation, and pedagogy. So we are trying to pointing out the curriculum design, and probably it's a very challenging aspect in TVET or quality TVET or developing quality skills, because it is ever changing with the minutes. Technology is being changed. We're running through information super highway probably nowadays. So every moment we are getting some changes. So we'll have to cope with that changes, and we need to train our youths for that particular purpose. And if we really want to develop curriculum, it is really so we need to have a set of people ready every moment for this purpose. So, and it requires a huge investment as well. So arrangement of funds is also very challenging. I'm just wrapping up with some aspects that has been presented by our our respected presenters, Mr. Chaudhry Mustazabur Rahman. He has just put emphasis on skill-based employment generation to public-private partnership with support from the private companies. Again, sometimes it's really very challenging because private entrepreneurs need to come up with the government policies. So it requires striking a balance or bridging with many aspects. I believe this session, some sort of recommendations could be coming with this mindset. The next, Mr. Shyam Prasad Bapari. Yes, it is a little bit innovative idea, I must say. They are giving some stipend to one level of students, and he is trying to motivate those students to take some practical training so that they can generate some income at the level. So the innovative idea is usually we all try to do it, sometimes we also did in our student life, but the innovative part is here, is utilizing the local resources as the trainer. The persons who learned it through experience, they are coming as the trainer. It's not the trainer from any particular institution. So that could be an addition of value in the TVET area of sector. Mr. Muhammad Ghulam Sultanam, he has just put emphasis on the transformation of youth to human capital. This is more important because it's based on productivity. So we need to transform the youth to a human capital so that the person can generate income or add value to GDP through quality TVET and required skills, create opportunity for employment both at home and abroad, having a mindset of positive attitude. Certain issues are there. And Mr. Ibrahim Adamu, he underlined the need of incorporating updated pedagogical approach for enhancing students' learning that has direct implications for quality outcomes from technical education, that is project-based learning in any country, especially in Bangladesh. And Miss Sekjek Jargal Junai, she stressed on setting education system so that graduates of vocational education and training can work directly in labor market, and they also can obtain, this is really very important, and they also can obtain dual occupation or continuous studying in university during their work. So the system as a whole is to be designed in such a way so that one student can get the opportunity to get involved into some work as well as carry on the studies, higher studies. So these are the issues that has been presented, and I believe it was really very good presentation, very comprehensive thing. But we are really sorry that we could not allow you ample time, so that because there is one particular issue today. Today is Friday, and we have got Juma prayer. So most of us are at the moment mentally prepared to join the for saying the Juma prayer. So extend my heartiest thanks and gratitude to all of you, even the discussants, so all participants present here. Thank you very much for your vibrant participation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your nice presentation. And now it's a very enlightening moment, you see. I would request dear guests and participants to stay for a moment. Here, our chairperson will give some crest of appreciation, and our staff will help him. I thank Mr. Professor Dr. G. Kolantibal, faculty consultant. He will along with our chairperson also.
Thank you very much. Next, Mohammad Ghulam Sultan Alam. Please.
বিদেশিদের দিয়ে নেন, আমি করে দিই।
Okay. Thank you. Next.
স্যার একটু বসুন তো, আপনি একটু বসেন।
Okay. Thank you very much.
This country?
Nigeria.
How do you feel? My country, yeah? Alhamdulillah. Today is Friday, so go to the mosque, Zumba. Dole hate chale. Amarta aro beshi dite hobe.
Thank you very much. Please.
Amar khali azan koi yaar sita kein. Thank you. সবাই জয় হোক। এই দেশের ছেলে মেয়ে যারা জেনারেল আছে আমি যেন ইন্ট্রোডিউস করতে পারি। সবাই যেন মঙ্গলে থাকে।
আমার তো ভাই অবশ্যই আমি তো আপনাদের পার্ট আই এম পার্ট অফ ইট
Now I request Professor Dr. G. Kolantibal, faculty consultant, to hand over the crest to our honorable chairperson.
জাহিদ ভাইয়ের ওখানে যান না, আপা, কাজল আপা, জাহিদ ভাইয়ের ওখানে যান। আপা মোটে তাকায় না, দেখো।
আমাদেরটা উঠেইছেন
না স্যার, আপনার 1 সেকেন্ড
উঠে নেই
না স্যার, আমি ওইদিকে ছিলাম স্যার। স্যার আরেকবার ধরেন স্যার, নেন আবার প্রথমটা হয়েছে হয়েছে।
থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ। থ্যাংক ইউ
স্যার, আপনাকে ধরেন স্যার।
আমারটা এরকম ধরে একটু দেন।
এই কাজল আপা, জাহিদ ভাইয়ের ওখানে যান।
স্যার খুলেন, না খুললে ভালো হবে না স্যার। 2
Thank
মিনিট
you,
2
sir.
মিনিট।
Thank you all
Sir.
for your active participation and contribution to this TVET in Bangladesh.
ওকে, আরেকটা
Thank you very much.
হয়েছে
Thank
হয়েছে
you,
হয়েছে।
to listen to a special speech.
Just I am concluding with one sentence. It is a very timely arrangement of this international conference on skills for the future world of work and for global competitiveness. I really thank IDB and CPSC for organizing this very important conference for the benefit of just left.
Okay. Look. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes.
আপনাদের সবাই